It has been quite frustrating. And I think that that's one of the reasons why I had it be a smaller index, because they're like, the bigger the index is, Gina, the harder it will be for us to keep up with your request. So that's why they told me that the best thing was just per judge. And they're like, that we can do. That we can make sure is up to date. That's what they said.
Per judge, you can either be a judge with every non-prisoner.
Yes.
And with prisoner and non-prisoner, or you can be prisoner only with every judge.
Yes.
Those are our
That's what they did for me from different divisions.
Given those choices, I would choose prisoner all the judges.
Yeah, which is what I had hoped to get, and I didn't get it yet. So what I would do for that is just click OK, PSP Pro Se, San Francisco PSP Pro Se, and then San Jose PSP Pro Se, and then I would accomplish the same thing you're asking, which it does. It does. This is about DT search. Sorry, I forgot to start it.
I mean, I can see people just doing, just trying
Their own.
Let me do asset first.
Yeah.
If I don't find anything, then let me go to the other one.
Right.
Yeah. But I mean, if those, that would be fine. Those three are working.
Yeah.
You definitely click them all. Just know that it's going to be time-consuming for the system to go and look at all three of them and compile them. And that's probably why they split them out too, because of the volume of files that are available. If you put every judge together, it would be fairly significant.
Yeah.
Especially because it would be passing current judges.
Right.
So,
Right.
Creating the index, when each of us wants to create that.
You're not creating it, you're adding.
Yeah.
IT creates it.
Yep.
And then you go through a process where you add, or IT can support you with that, because the index already exists. So what I can do is email you all when I send the file that, for the presentation that I did, with the instructions for adding an existing index. Because people have gone in and tried to add their own, and then that creates mayhem on the back end, because it needs to be driven by IT. So if I can give you some directions, I will include adding each of the three pro se divisional office options to your user.
I want to caution you, I tried to do it on my own. It's a nightmare, and it didn't work, but hopefully Monique will give you better instructions than what I got. And so I ended up bugging IT, and they were like, you know what? At least this is what Roel told me. He's like, just have them reach out to me, and I will add it to there. So whatever you guys want to do. Oh, it's already here. I didn't add it. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, honestly, that's all I have. I hope it's helpful.
You need to have one of the newer laptops for that.
Does anyone have it on their old laptop working? I don't have it on my laptop.
It has it on the new ones, 100%. Yeah.
Reach out to IT and ask. I kept installing my old one because the new one, no one knows. I just tried some ads.
So we can get DT search up. If we don't have it, we should be able to get it.
Yeah, you should. Yeah. And another thing is it is slower at home versus when you're in the office. 100%. And it, like, even just this, like, slowness of me deselecting, it's already slow right now, and I guess it's just like I'm at home right now. Anyway, that's all I got. I want to teach you guys about Westcheck also. I know I'm kind of running out of time, Luis. I don't know if you want me to say more about this. I mean, there's one tiny thing more. I never use the more options, but last night I was looking into it. It looks like you can like put the number of files you want it to find. It never finds 5,000, so I just leave that. And then there's another button you can press other than right-clicking it, is there's a launch button. So that's the launch button, and you can open that document that way also. But I just right-click it and then click open. That's how I open the files. But I mean, it's just as easy to use as ISIS, but what's frustrating are the indexes for me. So I honestly have not used it as much as I thought I would be using it.
Because it's slower?
Because I don't think the indexes are right. I don't trust the indexes. And as you can see, I wish I had trusted them because now they're fixing it. Well, I just checked San Francisco. But when I did the Oak PSP, it was choosing like weird files and not.
Maybe it's because it hadn't compiled.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, maybe it just took a while.
That time-consuming process for compiling the indexes, will that still be the case for indexes that have already been created or just added?
Indexes that are already created exist.
Yeah.
And
Great.
All right, so my homework is going to be to get you information on how to add the indexes to DC Search. If you don't already have it installed on your computer, that's not my department because I'm not a software installation person, but I can contact and help you get that, and then I'll get you some information on how to add the indexes, okay?
Great. Okay. Yeah, welcome. Okay, I'm going to just have a really short Westcheck training. I don't know if anybody even knows what it is, but I just kind of suggested it to Luis. It's called, bye Monique, thank you. They call it drafting now, and that's through like Westlaw, so you just have to like put in your Westlaw password for it. But what it is it's something I've used like for 20 years now that allows you to check all the cites and the quotations in your draft. So it basically pulls it from your draft and makes sure you're citing to the correct case and make sure that if you quote from a case, it's the exact wording that was in, you know, the actual case. It's not AI by all means. As you can see from my single space directions, there are 3 main points that I use when I generate these reports, because otherwise the report is 700 pages long and you don't want that. I don't know why it's taking so long, but I've already generated the report. But just to reiterate, this is when you've drafted the order, you're about to turn it into the judge, and all you're doing is checking your cites. So when it finally comes up, sadly, there are all these steps to actually do this report. That's, I don't know why. It's either Monique says the internet drops sometimes. So hopefully you can just follow the instructions to do it and maybe it'll stop thinking. But I've already generated the report, which I have sent to me in an email usually. Yes, I never close anything, as you can see. Okay, here we go. And so this report is like 400 pages, and you don't want to print it. An example that I just ran is a report for a habeas denial, which is like a 50-page document. So it's a lot of cases, a lot of quotes. And I have it emailed to myself because when you email it, there is a Word document that is generated in the email, if you follow the prompts that I gave you there. And you just open up the Word document, and it's a really long Word document. And then I Control F to get this navigation on the side right here, and I just search for 3 things. The first one I can't actually search, but I look for all the red flagged cases. And so in order to do that, the first thing in this document, if you follow my instructions right, and I'll show you if you have time, I'll run it with you, are the summary of all the citations. And you see that it actually has pictures of the yellow and red flags. So our case, the People v. Henderson case, will always be red flagged because it was appealed on direct review. So you want to ignore all that. You want to only look for 9th Circuit cases that are red flagged or U.S. Supreme Court cases that are red flagged. And so it's really quick. You just go down, and the little tips I gave is if you see something that's red flagged, you go to your actual document and you see if you've already put a note that it's been overruled or whatnot. Another way to do it is you go on DT search, see if somebody else has cited to that U.S. Supreme Court case that's been overruled, and just check to make sure that that's what you want to add to your document, just so the judge knows it's been overruled on other grounds. But the red flag is really helpful because, as you can see, this is a very long document. But yeah, you just kind of go down. And so it takes me about 30 minutes to do the entire thing. So the first thing is like 5 minutes. I just kind of scan for any red flags. Sorry, I thought I would see one by now, but I don't see one right now. But I think it's helpful because otherwise sometimes I don't know if something's been red flagged and I've, copied it from the blurbs or copied it from a previous order, and it kind of like gives me an idea that it's been red flagged. So I should actually add to it. So moving on, I'm gonna go to the next thing that I search. Does anyone have questions about red flags? I think that's helpful. Is document information. Okay, so here is the second part of the report. What it is is it basically gets every single case that you've cited in your order. And the word document information is always in every citation entry. So I do not scroll because it's so long. I just cut and paste the words document information with or without the colon, and then I just click next. And what that does is it shows you what your document information site is, and then it pulls what the Westlaw results are. So sometimes I don't know, I joke that I have dyslexia, and what if I put, instead of 559, I accidentally type 595 or something. What I do Westcheck for is if this says Renico v. Lett 559, but I actually put 595, these are not going to match. So it'll say Renico v. Lett and something else. And if it pulls something else, I'll know that I accidentally typed in the wrong citation. Another thing that's really helpful is sometimes I forget to long cite something. So it's going to say document information. I'm not going to bother trying to find it, but it'll say Renico, comma, 559 US Act 773. And then it's going to have the full cite for Renico. And I'm going to know, oh, when I cited to that the very first time, it was a short cite. So then I go back to my document and I type in Renico, and then I basically just cut and paste the long cite and I put it into my document. And so it's kind of a helpful check, especially when you start moving around stuff in your order. Sometimes you forget to long cite it, so this finds it, and it tells you, it is able to, even if it's a short cite, find out what the long cite is, and it gives you that as a Westcheck information. So one tiny tip, and I put there in the notes, is when you leave this page and you go back to your order to check, when you come back to the Westcheck document again, you have to copy and paste document information where you left off and put it here, because if you just continue where you left off, it's going to go to the very start of the document, which is 200 pages up, and you're going to have to, research again. So it's a placeholder. You want to cut and paste document information from this area where you're at so that you can continue on. I hope that makes sense. It's just a little trick that I've learned using this, because I find it really helpful to be able to just check every single site. So then now that I've done that, I can go on to the next one and just press next, and it's gonna very slowly, I don't know why it's so slow, go to the very next document information. There, so Penry v. Johnson. So this is how quickly I do it, is I just keep cutting next. So if it's Brecht, same. So I just do that whole thing until the very end of the document. And if I find that everything is kosher, I'm good. Oh, one other thing I wanted to share with you. Yields, let's say, for example, you have a Supreme Court site up here, and it pulls the long site, including the U.S. site. My judges really hate when I don't update it to the U.S. site. So this is also a good way for you to know that a U.S. site came and you can update it. So that's kind of what I put there also in the little thing that I shared with you guys. So then, okay, the last thing I search for is quote right. And so I'm not going to go through all these document informations unless, does anyone have any questions about that? Okay. The quote right is kind of cool, kind of not cool, and I'll tell you why. So it's usually at the very bottom of the 400-page document. I'll just push it. Okay. So what quote right is it is the ability of Westcheck to go through your document every time you have a quote, and it checks it with what it pulls. I don't know, I want it to go up, but I don't know if it's thinking right now. So it says, for Renico v. Lett, your quotation was different from the quote found in the cited document. So here's the problem with quote right. it doesn't like our curly quotes versus the quotes that apparently like Westlaw uses. So it says it's different, but it actually is the same. And it also doesn't like when we do brackets. But what's great about it is, on the odd chance that you actually type something wrong, it catches it. Like, for example, if you said, like, oh wait, hold on. I'll just use an example. Yeah, I mean, a lot of it is also searching quotes that are not actually related to the document because it's related to the papers. So this is a good thing to find where it says your quotation was the same as the quotation found on the Westlaw document. So this is what you'll find. And then what's great is it'll also show you the context from which you found it. So I don't know if that's too low. But let's say you forgot to put, for the last state court to decide a prisoner's federal claim, and it'll say your quotation is different because you forgot to write the word federal. And what's great is you'll see prisoner's claim and you'll see prisoner's federal claim, and then in the context, it'll actually also highlight where the difference is. So you can actually check that you missed a word or whatnot. But I mean, like I said, the whole thing takes me about 30 minutes. If it's a really long document, maybe like 45 minutes. But the judges appreciate it because they know I do this. Who was the first one who had me do this is Judge Wilkin. And I've just used it ever since. And so it's just kind of another level to make sure that when you give an order to the judge, she knows, or at least she knew. At that point, I checked all the cites. I checked all the citations. I'm just curious, like, what other people do. Do you guys do key cite? Like, when you guys turn in an order, like, how do you guys check your cites?
I mean, I was just curious. You do this for what? I mean, I assume you do this for, like, really meaty orders?
Yes. Yeah. 100%, yes.
I just print it out and cite check by hand.
Okay.
It takes me probably the same amount of time.
Wait, cite check by hand? Like you go to Westcheck?
I'll go to where I have a citation, go on Westlaw, and type it in, make sure I got it right, and if I got a quotation, I'll do the same thing.
So this one generates it for you. You won't have to go back and forth, but like...
Yeah, I know, but a lot of this kind of stuff is part of my process. So I'm at it's like the final proofread at the same time as the site check. It's just, I mean, I also write everything out by hand first.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
So
I mean, it's just something helpful if it helps you guys, but I know we're over time.
I can see why it's helpful.
Yeah.
Is there any way you can make it not like 400 pages or other options? Or?
I've never, I mean, well, okay, they're trying to get me to use something else, but I've used this for 20 years. There's something called QuickCite. I don't know how to use it.
Is that a Westlaw?
It just opened up. It's Westlaw. Yeah. I think it's called QuickCite. And what it is it just will make me crazy. It's kind of what you're saying. It's your document and it's going to be on the side. So instead of searching, you're just going to go through your entire document and it'll open it up on the side and say, this is right, this is right, this is right, this is wrong. And I'm like, well, then you have to read your whole document again. You can't just go click, 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 yes, yes, yes. So I don't know. I found it a little bit more cumbersome, but Monique is not here. They invited me to, because they know I'm a big Westcheck user, they invited me to a training on QuickCheck. I kind of turned everybody around to use Westcheck because everybody was like, we don't like this QuickCheck thing. And so, I don't know. But we'll see. Maybe I'll come around and use it. But anyway, that's it. I hope it's helpful. And if you have any questions, reach out. I hope it's helpful. Anyway, I'll leave this up for Luis, but sorry for all my windows. Oh my gosh. Yeah, maybe we should do that just because I'll go too much.
People use the co-counsel thing on Westlaw. Is that similar to the Lexis thing? I've never used Lexis.
I've used it, but I have not